Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh extends greetings to farmers of the country on the occasion of Farmers' Day today, assures government is holding talks with protesting farmers with full sensitivity, expresses hope that they will end their agitation soon. Major success for BJP in DDC elections in Jammu and Kashmir, massive gains in Jammu. BJP sees success in Valley as well. Gupkar alliance emerges as largest alliance. BJP says people support the PM's vision for a new Kashmir. Total number of active COVID cases in the country falls below 3 lakhs. 26 states and union territories record less than 10,000 active cases. IMD predicts cold wave conditions over many parts of North India, warns moderate to dense fog in the mornings with difficult driving conditions and slower journey times. Israel to hold fourth elections in 2 years after two main parties in unity government fail to meet deadline in row over state budgets. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukma with you once again. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh greeted farmers of the country on Farmers' Day. In a tweet, he said, farmers have provided the country with food security. Some are agitating against the farm laws. The government is holding talks with them with full sensitivity. I hope that they will end their agitation soon. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath today paid floral tributes to former Prime Minister Chaudhary Charan Singh on his 118th birth anniversary in Lucknow. On the occasion, the Chief Minister also distributed tractors to farmers under the Krishak Uphar Yojana. Yogi said that MSP and mandis will continue as per the new farm laws, but the opposition is trying to mislead farmers on this issue.
ये बार बार कहा जा रहा है कि एमएसपी समाप्त नहीं होगी, लेकिन तब भी गुमराह किया जा रहा है एमएसपी के नाम पर। बार बार कहा जा रहा है कि मंडियां समाप्त नहीं होंगी, लेकिन तब भी इसके नाम पर गुमराह करने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है। यानी ये कहा जा रहा है मंडियां चलेंगी, मंडी को तो तकनीक के साथ जोड़ने का कार्य, ई नाम के साथ जोड़ने का कार्य प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने किया, लेकिन तब भी गुमराह किया जा रहा है कि मंडी बंद हो जाएगी। ये कैसी राजनीति? ईपीएमसी एक्ट के अंतर्गत ये प्रावधान दिया जा रहा है कि किसान अब केवल मंडी में ले जाने के लिए अपने उत्पाद के लिए मजबूर नहीं होगा। अगर उसे लगता है कि लखनऊ की मंडी से ज्यादा दाम उसे बाराबंकी की मंडी में मिल सकते हैं, या बाराबंकी से अच्छा दाम उसे दिल्ली की मंडी में मिल सकते हैं, बिना किसी टैक्स के, बिना किसी सरचार्ज के किसान अपने उत्पाद को बाराबंकी या दिल्ली के अंदर या देश के अंदर किसी भी मंडी में ले जाकर के बेच सकता है और ज्यादा मुनाफा कमा सकता है।
A delegation of farmer associations coming from UP, Delhi and adjoining areas met Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar in New Delhi. The farmers' representatives extended their support to the new farm laws and also made certain suggestions related to these laws. Besides, they also submitted a memorandum to Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, who said that he had a constructive meeting with the representatives of farmer unions.
अनेक किसान यूनियन के पदाधिकारीगण आए थे और उनकी ये चिंता है कि सरकार बिलों में कोई संशोधन करने जा रही है। उन्होंने कहा कि ये बिल किसानों की दृष्टि से बहुत कारगर हैं, किसानों के लिए फ़ायदे में हैं और बिल में किसी भी प्रकार का परिवर्तन नहीं किया जाना चाहिए, ये मांग करने के लिए वो आए थे। उन्होंने अपनी बात भी की, उनके मन में जो भ्रांति थी और बाकी जो समस्याएं थी उन पर भी चर्चा हुई। मैं मंत्रालय की ओर से इन सभी किसान यूनियनों का आभार प्रकट करता हूं जो बिल के समर्थन में दिल्ली आए।
And following the meet, farmers said that they wholeheartedly supported the new farm laws.
कहीं शंका थी कि एमएसपी जारी रहना चाहिए, मंत्री जी ने उसको बिल्कुल क्लियर किया कि एमएसपी जारी रहेगी। नई चीजें भी किसानों ने मांग की कि मंडियों का आधुनिक मतलब मॉडर्नाइजेशन होना चाहिए, वो उन्होंने अपने मांग पत्र में रखा। किसानों ने दो मांगे और की इसमें कि जो प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर का लैंडिंग है, जो ऋण है हमारा, वो क्या होता है कि वो संस्थाओं को हो जाता है, वो डायरेक्ट फार्मर्स को होना चाहिए। दूसरा जो मंडी क्षेत्र का सेस है, वो मंडी क्षेत्र का जो सेस है उस मंडी क्षेत्र में ही उसका डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए। लेकिन कुल मिलाकर इस बात से संतुष्ट किसान थे। हमारे एक नेता हैं अजीपाल प्रधान जी, उन्होंने बड़ी अच्छी बात कही, किसान आदमी है, उन्होंने कहा कि सब सुई बनाने वाले को अपनी कीमत तय करने का अधिकार है अपनी चीज का, तो आखिर किसान को अपनी फसल का मूल्य तय करने का अधिकार होना चाहिए, जो बिल ये हमें देता है।
हमारी यूनियन ने इन तीनों कानूनों को पढ़ा है, इनका विश्लेषण किया है और विश्लेषण करने के बाद हम इस नतीजे पर पहुंचे कि ये तीनों कानून किसानों को फायदा देने वाले हैं। इन तीनों कानूनों के लागू होने से किसानों की दशा में दिशा में सुधार होगा, किसान की आर्थिक स्थिति बढ़ेगी, किसान के अंदर संपन्नता आएगी। नंबर एक बात। नंबर दो बात, फिर भी जो हमारे किसान भाई बैठे हैं वो भी हमारे अपने हैं। हमने माननीय मंत्री जी से कहा है कि जो इसमें भ्रांतियां हैं, जैसा कि किसानों को भय दिखाया जा रहा है कि एसडीएम जो है उनका शोषण करेगा, उसको दूर करने का काम किया जाएगा। किसानों को भय दिखाया जा रहा है कि मंडी समाप्त हो जाएगी, उसको दूर करने का काम किया जाए। किसानों को भय दिखाया जा रहा है कि एमएसपी से कम उनकी फसल बिकेगी, उसको दूर करने का काम किया जाए। माननीय मंत्री जी ने भी आश्वासन दिया है कि निरंतर हम बात कर रहे हैं, करेंगे।
हम ये चाहते हैं संशोधन जो वे किसान बैठे ना उस पक्ष में नहीं, तो सरकार के पक्ष में है कि ये हमारे तीनों बिल रहने चाहिए, इनको ऐसा ना कभी आप कैंसिल कर दें।
And Vice President Venkaiah Naidu also extended greetings on former Prime Minister Chaudhry Charan Singh's birth anniversary. In his tweet, the Vice President said, I quote, "Remembering former Prime Minister Chaudhry Charan Singh Ji on his birth anniversary today. He was a great leader and a man of impeccable integrity. He cared deeply for farmers and made invaluable efforts for their upliftment. Chaudhry Charan Singh, on the occasion of Kisan Divas, I convey my greetings to all farmers who are working relentlessly for the country's food security. On Kisan Divas, let us all express our gratitude to farmers for their hard work and for producing record food grains in spite of the hardship faced during the pandemic. All stakeholders, including scientists, must help in improving productivity and doubling farmers' income." Counting of votes for the first ever District Development Council elections is being held across 20 districts. Across 20 districts of the Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory is underway, with the results of 276 seats out of 280 declared so far. The BJP is leading the tally, winning 74 seats, followed closely by J&K National Conference with 67 seats. Independents have won 49 seats, while Mehbooba Mufti's People's Democratic Party bagged 27 seats. Indian National Congress has won 26 seats so far. Other parties have won 33 seats in total. And for the latest, we go over to our correspondent Rama Tyagi, who's currently covering this story there in Jammu and Kashmir. Right, well, we'll be trying to reconnect with Rama as and when it is possible. Right now, let's go across now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has tweeted on the occasion of the birth anniversary of Chaudhry Charan Singh, former Prime Minister, and on the occasion of Kisan Divas. There is the Prime Minister's tweet offering tributes to the former Prime Minister Chaudhry Charan Singh. In his tweet, he said that throughout his life, he worked for the development of villages and for farmers. Let's now take a look at Updates on the COVID situation from across the country. 26,895 recoveries were recorded yesterday, taking the cumulative total of recovered patients to 96 lakhs 63,382. With this, the recovery rate currently stands at 95.69%. India's three-pronged strategy of test, trace and treat is proving to be a success. The fatality rate has dropped to 1.45%, with 1,46,444 deaths recorded so far. The number of active COVID-19 cases in India stands at 2,89,240, which is 2.86% of total cases reported so far. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, the total of 16 crore 42 lakhs 68,721 samples have been tested for COVID-19 so far. Of these, 10 lakh 98,164 samples were tested yesterday. Project Sanjeevani, which is related to handling and redistribution of coronavirus vaccines, Delhi International Airport CEO Videh Kumar Jaipuria on Monday said that both cargo terminals of Delhi Airport are equipped with cool chambers to handle the vaccines. Our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya spoke to the CEO. This is what he had to say.
One of the major challenges for a country of a 1.3 billion population is to provide a vaccine for the coronavirus once it gets approved. And joining me is the CEO of Delhi International Airport to talk about their preparedness for this challenge.
We had been indicated by Ministry of Civil Aviation that Delhi is going to be one of the hub, mostly because we have got the best connectivity across the country. So we have looked at it from various points, starting from arriving of the aircraft. So we are the only airport in the country which has got 12 cargo parking bays. So it's much easier for any cargo to be offloaded and get inside the terminal. For that transportation, so that the cool chain doesn't get broken, we have got what we call as cool dollies. So these are cool chambers on wheel, where different types of temperatures can be maintained. And then inside the terminal, we have got cool chambers at different temperatures. So whatever is the temperature requirement of a particular vaccine, it can be stored there. In case they are coming in a pre-cooled envirotainers, then we are providing them with plug points, and whichever envirotainers actually need dry ice refill, we are also providing with that facility. Once they are received, after that they need to go out. So we have made a special arrangement for all the COVID vaccine trucks, where there is a dedicated entry for them. They are supposed to book their time slot in advance, which is an online system at Delhi Airport. Typical turnaround time we have tried to minimize so that the vaccine actually comes in and leaves for the market at the soonest possible time.
What is the capacity of Delhi International Airport to accommodate these vaccines?
Based on the size of the box, which actually we had taken a trial, our capacity to stock in cold room is about 2.7 million vials. So it depends on the source, so it may vary a little bit because different boxes are of different sizes. So you can say anywhere between 2 to 2.5 million vials can be stocked at any time. And if we are able to turn it around faster, even 2 rotations, then about 4 to 5 million vials we can handle a day.
Appreciate your time. So that was CEO of Delhi International Airport, Videh Kumar, briefing us about the preparedness of Delhi International Airport to fight in this fight against COVID-19. With camera person Mohit Joshi, this is Tapas Bhattacharya, DD India.
With many countries around the world confronting a second wave of COVID-19 and subsequently imposing lockdowns again, worldwide trials of the vaccine to fight the continuing pandemic are on full throttle. Over the last decade, India has emerged as a global pharmaceuticals and vaccine hub, producing about 60% of the world's vaccines. Of this, Hyderabad, the pharma hub and vaccine capital of India, has the capacity to be a formidable producer. of over a third of the global vaccine supplies. Experts opine that the city will be an integral part of the COVID-19 solution by virtue of its robust manufacturing technology and capacity to manufacture millions of doses as per the best-in-class industry practices. With this as a background, Hyderabad Air Cargo has a major role cut out in the entire value chain of vaccine shipments to provide the necessary infrastructure for unbroken cool chain of the global vaccine shipments to maintain its integrity.
Hyderabad Air Cargo has been doing a great role in engaging with all the stakeholders, be it the vaccine manufacturers, be it the freight forwarders, the airlines and the destination airports, and also ensuring that we develop adequate capacity to store all these vaccines. So they have been very proactive, and we are very sure that Hyderabad Airport and the Hyderabad Air Cargo will play a major role in ensuring seamless distribution of all the vaccines as and when it starts.
Preparations are underway at the Vaccine Storage Centre in Patna's Nalanda Medical College and Hospital to handle and store COVID vaccines. NMCH Superintendent Dr. Vinod Singh said that nearly 35 lakh vials can be stored at the centre in the walk-in coolers. He added that all the systems have been developed here and systems are being made operational. Beforehand, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan had said that India may begin vaccinating people against COVID from January onwards, and the government's first priority has been safety and efficacy of the vaccine. According to the Health Ministry, there are 9 COVID-19 vaccine candidates in different phases of clinical trials in India. 6 are under clinical trials, 3 in the pre-clinical phase.
NMCH परिसर में हमारा वैक्सीन हाउस है जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के अंदर है, स्टेट हेल्थ सोसाइटी के अंदर है, और यह वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट इन इंडिया है, जहां की शायद ही कोई स्टेट है जहां की इतना बड़ा वैक्सीन सेंटर है, वैक्सीन स्टोरेज सेंटर है। और हमारे यहाँ तकरीबन 35 लाख वायल्स का स्टोरेज की कैपेसिटी है। और वैक्सीन पहुँचने की प्रक्रिया है कि जैसे पुणे सीरम इंस्टीट्यूट से वैक्सीन वहाँ से चलेगा और वो यहाँ हवाई जहाज़ से पहुँचेगा हमारे एयरपोर्ट पर। एयरपोर्ट से हमारा वैक्सीन वैन कैरियर वैन्स होता है, फ्रीजर वैन्स होते हैं, जिसमें कि वो वैक्सीन्स को डाल के और यहाँ तक पहुँचाया जाएगा।
Meanwhile, in the backdrop of a new strain of coronavirus being found in Britain and some other countries, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has appealed to all administrative bodies in the state to be vigilant and increase the number of tests, make use of masks mandatory and be aware of the dangers ahead. He held an emergency meeting with state government officials and other concerned authorities and reviewed the emerging situation and the precautions to be taken accordingly. The Chief Minister also reviewed the preparations for corona vaccination. He reviewed the vaccination system, data collection and delivery of health workers who need to be vaccinated in the first phase, arrangement of cold storages, training and so on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to Chaudhry Charan Singh on his birth anniversary today. In his tweet, he said he remained devoted to the development of villages and farmers throughout his life, for which he will always be remembered. The Tamil Nadu government has granted permission to hold the Jallikattu event with certain restrictions. The state government said that the number of players should not be more than 150 at an event, and COVID-19 negative certificate will be mandatory for players. It further added that the number of spectators should not be more than 50% of the gathering. And weather news, cold wave conditions have been forecast for parts of Delhi, where temperatures are expected to fall by 1 to 2 degrees Celsius in the next 2 to 3 days. According to the Met Department, temperatures will start rising again in the wake of the upcoming western disturbance, likely to come into effect from the 26th of December. Very light rain is also expected over Delhi on the 27th of December. The Safdarjung Observatory, which provides representative data for the city, recorded a minimum of 5.8 degrees Celsius in the morning at 8:30 a.m. And in Uttar Pradesh, 2 people lost their lives in a late-night incident of ammonia gas leak at the urea unit of the Indian Farmers Fertilizer Cooperative Limited chemical plant in Phulpur. Prayagraj DM Bhanu Chandra Goswami said that initially 14 people, including 2 officers, were injured. Of them, 2 are dead, while 12 others are recovering in the hospital. The unit of the plant has currently been closed. Meanwhile, police and NDRF teams from Varanasi visited the spot and returned after bringing the situation under control. There are 2 units each of ammonia and urea at the Phulpur-based IFCO plant. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has expressed grief over the incident. In a tweet, he said, "Extremely saddened by the gas leak at Phulpur chemical plant in Prayagraj. The situation is under control with the efforts of the local administration now. All the injured are being treated at the local hospital. My condolences to the families of those who died in the accident." In Odisha, the famous Jagannath temple in Puri has reopened for devotees after 9 months. The temple was closed after the government's order to shut all places of worship due to the coronavirus pandemic. However, the temple will reopen in a phased manner, while servitors and local residents of Puri will get the first opportunity to enter the temple till the 31st of December. It will remain closed on January 1st and 2nd to avoid the rush of devotees on New Year's Day. The Jagannath temple will be finally open to the public irrespective of their places, irrespective of where they come from the 3rd of January. The temple administration has issued strict guidelines and protocols to curb the spread of coronavirus. Indian Army Chief General Narvane arrived at Leh on a one-day visit to the Fire and Fury Corps. COAS was received by GOC Fire and Fury Corps Lieutenant General PGK Menon, and we'll keep you updated on the story in subsequent bulletins. Israel will hold a snap election in March after Parliament on Tuesday failed to meet a deadline to pass a budget. Campaigning in Israel's 4th parliamentary election in 2 years got underway, with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu facing public anger over his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. Israel's longest-serving leader will also have to contend with a new rival from the right, Gideon Sa'ar, who is a defector from Netanyahu's Likud party. Netanyahu and the current Defense Minister Benny Gantz have been locked in a dispute over passage of a national budget, key to implementing a deal in which Gantz was to have taken over from Netanyahu in November 2021. The European Union is giving a final push in a bid to strike a Brexit trade deal with Britain. Britain is set to complete its departure from the EU when it leaves the bloc's single market and customs union on the 31st of December. The 2 sides have for months been struggling to seal a new framework for their relations, but the much postponed final stages now coincide with a cross-channel crisis, as EU and other countries suspend most travel to and from Britain to try to curb a much more contagious variant of the coronavirus. EU Chief Michel Barnier has said that the UK's latest offer on sharing out the catch from 2021 was totally unacceptable. And let's now take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. The pandemic continues to loom around the world, infecting more than 7 crore 83 lakh people, while the tally of recoveries has crossed 5 crore 51 lakh worldwide. The virus has claimed over 17 lakh 24,000 lives globally. The US remains the worst affected from COVID, with more than 1 crore 86 lakh cases of infection and over 3 lakh 30,000 fatalities, followed by Brazil in terms of the death toll, where around 1 lakh 88,000 lives have been lost due to the pandemic. France will reopen its borders to passengers from England on Wednesday, ending the blockade intended to stop the spread of a new coronavirus variant. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson scrambled to get French President Emmanuel Macron to reach a deal on Tuesday, allowing people to return home, providing they have a negative COVID test that is less than 72 hours old. France on Sunday closed its borders for people coming from the UK amid the spread of a new strain of COVID-19. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD News and DD India. Namaskar.